Thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to talk about Meghan's interview in The Cut. Let's get into it. Once again, thank you so much for clicking on my video. If you have not already, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I drop a new video. So today I want to talk about Meghan's interview in The Cut. I was very excited about this because I didn't see it coming. I don't know if anyone else knew it was coming because I hadn't really been like up to date on like current news all the time. I just work a lot, but I didn't know. So when I saw the photos go up, I was just like, oh wow, okay, this is exciting. So I really enjoyed the interview. I pulled a couple of quotes that I felt like I really wanted to dig into. It was a pretty long interview, and I really loved that Meghan was so transparent, even though a couple of times the interviewer described Meghan as having a producer in her head, like from the show The Bachelor, having a producer in her head that was always instructing her on what to say. And I find that to just be Meghan being careful about what she says. She is methodical and she speaks with intention and purpose. And for people who do that, a lot of times they run what they're going to say through their mind before they open their mouth. And I would hope that all of us would partake in that. So I've put together a little slideshow so that we can go through some of the fashions first, and then I want to talk about some of the quotes. So let's jump in. All right, so let's get into some of these fashions, shall we? I was very pleased with these fashions, and I think these will be Mariah approved. So, first, we've got this cover. I want to just take a second to dissect this cover, shall we? I love this cover. It's straight on. If you watched America's Next Top Model, you'll know that Tyra had this thing about some people being so pretty that it was hard for them to do straight on photos, just straight on face forward photos, because sometimes they will be worried about symmetry or they would be trying to make a certain face. And the most exposed type of photo, and when I say exposed, I mean the most transparent type of photo where you really can't angle it and you can't change the way it comes out with an angle or a shadow or lighting, is straight on. Straight on is transparent. It shows everything from top to bottom. And I love this. I also think it was intentional to have such an in depth interview be accompanied by photos such as these. We didn't get a ton, but we got enough. And all the photos picked were intentional. I'm seeing, and so I love this. I'm seeing a theme here where we don't get overrun with too much, but we always get just enough. And the purpose and the message behind whatever project, whatever interview, whatever moment in the spotlight is always well received. And that's because it's done with intention. And I love that this cover was the way that we were introduced to this amazing interview. The interviewer did an amazing job. Now, this photo is by Campbell Addy, and I want to make sure I give the credit. This is a beautiful, beautiful photo. It's not overtouched. You see her beautiful freckles, you see all of her natural features, and you see this beautiful glam. And that's really hard to achieve. Like, I'll just say this, even just doing videos at my house, I sit too close to the window, I'm overexposed. If I sit too far away, you don't see me. It's just it's tough. And so to nail a photo like this and to get the message behind it, kudos to you, Campbell Addy, and kudos to you, Meghan. Beautiful. Now, this photo is absolutely, absolutely beautiful. I had a toggle in my mind about which photo I was going to use for the thumbnail just because it was a fight. It was a fight. I wanted to use both. And I was like, well, no, I want to just kind of have it. I like simplicity and minimalism. So I went with the straightforward photo, giving me Joanna. But I love this photo. I thought it was very beautiful, very classy, very elegant, very, very Meghan. So this dress, if you didn't already know, I'm pretty sure you've already seen, is the Color Block Tulle dress, and it's available at torybirch.com. It was sold out the last time I looked, but I'm gonna keep checking because I want this dress. And then for her earrings, she wore the Lanvin brass and green Strauss Melody earrings, and those are available at Lanvin boutiques, select Lanvin boutiques. So everything about this look is beautiful. I love that we've got this color block. I'm a big fan of color block, but something about color block on a white background, something about this also gave me like, do you remember the Flintstones, how they had those jagged shapes on their clothes? Particularly Wilma Flintstone, she had those like jagged hems, and I always thought that was so cute. And I thought it was because at the time it was supposed to be perceived as they had to rip their fabric. But so there's this stark contrast between the fabric, the color, and the shape and this tulle. The tool is always going to add a whimsical touch to whatever piece you're giving. But then you've got these oversized studs, which I like. Anytime someone wears studs with their hair pulled back, it is a statement. You get symmetry, you get a pop of color, which again, if you're doing black and white color block, you always want to have some sort of pop of color. But also you get this whimsical face and you get this pulled back. So we're getting this, what's the word? We're getting this combo of whimsical and pulled together and polished. And it's all kind of meshed together with this very whimsical white background. And you get this pop of black, pop of green. I really like this photo and I love this outfit. Next outfit. Now, this one, I would have loved a couple more angles on this one, but again, what did I say? They always give us just enough. This photo was also taken by Campbell Addy, and I love the way she's posing. We rarely see Meghan pose like this. We also rarely see her with her shoes off. Now, I did love that the photos that she took with Gloria Steinem, her shoes were off, and those as well. And I'm starting to see that as a symbol of Meghan being in her element and Meghan being ultimately relaxed. We get minimalist jewelry here. We don't get any shoes, but we get this beautiful, elegant dress. Now, and this beautiful pose. I really love this pose, especially, okay, so overall, we've gotten, let me go back to this photo. Symmetry, straight in the middle. Symmetry, symmetry, straight in the middle. Symmetry. And then we get this, where here's our middle, and then Meghan is a little bit off center. Shoes off, legs crossed, just comfortable. And then you get this duality of this very elegant, and it looks like an evening gown, which is showing cleavage, which we rarely get from Meghan anymore. And then she's just in this basic wooden chair in front of this beautiful hedge or bush. It's such a beautiful scene. It's such a beautiful picture. Campbell Addy did the damn thing. Now let's talk about the dress itself, because I could go on about this photography all day, and I'm not a photographer at all, but I know art and I love art, and I'm a really creative person. And so when I see things that move me a little bit, I love talking about it. And I'm sure if you subscribe to this channel, that's just one of your eye roll moments. So I appreciate your forgiveness on that. So the dress is Bottega Veneta. It's available at bottegaveneta.com. Her pearl strand, and you see it's almost like it's a choker. Is that a choker? I think it's a choker. I don't know. I don't know what size qualifies a choker versus just a necklace, but the choker is Mikimoto. It's an 8-inch Okoya cultured pearl strand featuring 9 by 8.5 millimeter A plus Okoya cultured pearls with Mikimoto signature clasp and 18 karat white gold. And that's available at mikimotoamerica.com. And her hoop earrings, which I can barely see the hoop earrings. Her jewelry is always really elegant. But the earrings are Mateo 14 karat yellow gold bypass hoops with diamonds, available at mateonewyork.com. Another centered photo, but look at this background. All the other backgrounds have been a little bit simpler. They've been outdoors. And this one, we get this very, very color rich photo. And we get Meghan in a pose we do not see her in very often. This is a very, very vulnerable pose. Now, to be fair, when you first look at this is again photo by Campbell Addy. If you look at this photo, hold on, let me fix my mic. If you look at this photo, you may first assume that this pose is guarded because she's got her hands and her feet clasped together. She's hunched over. She's protecting her core. Usually when someone is not comfortable, they will hide a couple of things. If someone is feeling guarded, they'll put something over their face, over their mouth, or they'll kind of close up right here. They'll fold their arms, or they'll crouch inward, something like that, almost as if they were cold. But it's our natural instinct as humans to cover ourselves up when we are feeling protective and of ourselves. And if we are feeling overexposed, or we're feeling like we are in a very vulnerable place, but we are not in a position to share, or we're just pushed outside of our limits, a lot of times our natural instinct is to cover our mouth or to cover our core, because this is where all your vitals are, all your vital organs. It's a natural thing. Um, but I see this pose as something different. Here's why: shoes off, practically exposed. Like, obviously her body is not naked, but there's something about this that's so simple and so exposed. And the way that her body's facing this way, but her head is facing this way, so we're seeing her fully exposed at a new angle. We're getting a lot of back, a lot of vulnerability here. Arms uncovered, feet uncovered. The skirt is falling just above the knee, and it's kind of hanging here. We never get like skirt up, dress up photos of Meghan, which was a classy choice by her to turn her body away if she was going to sit in this pose with a dress on. She's very cognizant of herself, and exposing what needs to be exposed, sharing her vulnerability with us, but still protecting herself. But I don't see this as an overall protective pose. I see this as vulnerable. She is showing us a different side of her. We never see Meghan in this way, especially completely folded up like this. I think she is letting us know, and if you read the interview, you'll know this as well. She's comfortable. Or, in the words of Beyonce, she's cozy. I love this. Now let's get into the fashion. The dress is a Chanel fantasy tweed dress, and it's available at select Chanel boutiques nationwide. The shoes, which are barely visible, but they are there, are Manolo Blahnik BB Slack suede pumps, and they are available at manoloblahnik.com. And her earrings were Sophie Buhai everyday pearl earrings, and they're available at sophiebuhai.com. I'm writing this down. My birthday is coming up, and it's in a couple days, and I want everybody to be on Manolo Blahnik, Sophie Buhai. I want y'all making sure y'all take care of me for my birthday now. Not y'all on my YouTube. Anyone who's in the other room and maybe listening. All right. And so the last photo that I want to dissect is this beautiful number here. Now, I said this a million times, and if I had the time, I would go back and find every instance where I talked about Meghan in a white suit or Meghan in white pants. It's a power statement, it's comfort. And this pose is giving powerful yet vulnerable. I love this. These poses, again, photo by Campbell Addy. These poses are absolutely stunning. She's giving us angles. She's giving us shifts in duality. I'm loving it. We've gotten her right side, her left side, and straight on. I love this. Also, subtle note, people may or may not think I'm a weirdo for noticing this, but I was in love with the fact that she put her jacket on and did not pull her hair out. This is a very leadership pose. The fact that Meghan is a Leo, her astrology sign is a Leo, this pose, if you didn't know, you know it now. As a Virgo, I respect it. But we see her back in the garden. Beautiful garden, beautiful background, but then you get this beautiful pose. I love how one hand is in the pocket, and then one hand is up here. Vulnerable yet powerful, i.e., woman. Now, y'all, bear with me as I try to pronounce these names. Now, you know, Meghan likes to go foreign with some of her brands, and she doesn't consider my feelings or my dialect when she does that. But this jacket is the Pronza Scholler. I'll get it one way. Off-white bi-stretch crepe cinch jacket and crepe pants. It's a set. Similar styles are available at thepronzaschuler.com. Now, the fact that they said similar styles makes me wonder if this is a one of a kind or made custom for her, which most likely is the case. Her shoes are Manolo Blahnik BB white Napa leather pumps, and they're available at manoloblahnik.com. And here we go again with Mateo. The earrings are the Mateo 14 karat yellow gold large half moon earrings with diamonds, available at mateonewyork.com. Love it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I was very inspired by this. And I love this photo. Campbell Addy did a great job of showing Meghan's vulnerability and power in the same photo. I felt like she was both exposed and protected at the same time. And that's saying something about a photographer. I follow another photographer on YouTube who talks about this kind of stuff more in depth. And I'm gonna link her. She has I think a million followers, so it's not like she's hurting for subscribers. But I think if you enjoyed this video of mine, I think you'll enjoy more in-depth videos of hers, because I really enjoy watching how she breaks down photography and how to go about it the right way, especially the relationship between photographer and model. She really puts that relationship on a high standard, and I love that about her. So the first quote that I highlighted was, Meghan turns to me. This is from the interviewer. Meghan turns to me and leans forward to ask in a conspiratorial hush, do you want to know a secret? Meghan, silent no more, looks around, making sure nobody who would be is listening in. Then the top secret drop, I'm getting back on Instagram. She says, her eyes alight and devilish. Later on, I think I use this quote too. The author admitted she's not really sure if Meghan will get back on Instagram, but Meghan did know that it would be very helpful to have an Instagram presence, considering she now has archetypes. So, and a number of other projects. Later, they discussed Meghan wanting more privacy, but not being unreasonable when she talked about not wanting to first give photos of her child to the royal rota before exposing them to people that she loves. And her quote was, why would I give the very people that are calling my children the N-word a photo of my child before I can share it with the people that love my child? She asks, still ruffled. You tell me how that makes sense, and then I'll play that game. I know that's right. That is a mother, honey. Another quote. In April 2019, 1 month prior, Archie was born. Meghan and Harry launched their own Instagram handle at Sussex Royal, which reached 1 million followers within 6 hours. On their own account, they refused to play the exchange game. They broke their own news, posting photos that sometimes never even made it to the royal rota. I use this quote, or I use this excerpt from their interview, simply because I thought it was very cool that this is part of the reason why they had that Instagram. I thought she just liked Instagram. And again, I saw Meghan as a modernizer of an antiquated system and an antiquated organization and institution. And I thought this was just part of that. I didn't even realize what was happening is that they were breaking their own photos and their own newsworthy moments on their terms. Again, just another reason why I feel like Harry and Meghan were very, very aligned. Another excerpt I pulled is, though Meghan had never met Tyler Perry in person, he had reached out when she and Harry got married to tell her that he was praying for her and that he understood what this meant, Meghan recalls, referring to the symbolic weight of their wedding, and that he can only imagine what it was like. He also told Meghan to call if she ever needed support or advice. It took her a long time to do so, she admits, but once she did, she found herself telling him every detail of their situation in Canada. Sometimes you can tell your life story to a stranger on a plane as opposed to some of the people that are closest to you, she says. I believe this is true. Now, when I talked about Tyler Perry wishing Meghan happy birthday, and I'll link that video here. When I talked about that, I thought they were friends. I never even caught that in the interview. I missed a lot of details in that interview because it was so long ago that she did with Oprah. I didn't realize that they didn't know each other. So that makes what he did even more heroic. And I'm glad that they were able to bond immediately. Sometimes people come into your life at just the right time. Another excerpt I use, quote, one of the first things my husband saw when we walked around the house was those two palm trees, she coos. See how they're connected at the bottom? He goes, my love, it's us. And now every day when Archie goes by us, he says, hi, mama, hi, papa. I thought that was adorable. Now, here's why I use this is one, because I thought that was sweet that they had that special connection to the home. And I see now why they really went hard to get that house. It seems like they're really connected to it. Now, I love that this article, one of the advertisements used said Meghan of Montecito. And now knowing this and how connected on a personal level they were to this home, I love that that was how they, the moniker they used for her and how they referred to her. I also use this because when she quoted Harry as saying, my love, it's us. If you can recall on the first episode of Archetypes, Harry is in the background and he's talking to Serena a little bit. And when he's leaving, she asks him a question. I can't remember what it was, but she referred to him. She goes, my love, ... And I thought that was cute. All right, I don't know why I use this entire excerpt, but here we go. Quote, even if she and Harry have stepped back from their royal duties, Meghan is still very aware that people see her as a princess. Quote, it's important to be thoughtful about it because even with the Oprah interview, I was conscious of the fact that there are little girls that I meet and they're just like, oh my God, it's a real life princess. But her ambitions for herself and the little girls who look up to her are more than to marry into a position. Quote, I just look at all of them and think, you have the power within you to create a life greater than any fairy tale you've ever read. I don't mean that in terms of you could marry a prince one day. I mean, you can find love, you can find happiness, you can be up against what could feel like the greatest obstacle, and then you can find happiness again. Oh, now I see why I use that one because it's sweet. Another excerpt. The couple has directly smashed rumors of a reality show, both in statements made to publications and in conversation with me. But Meghan explained there's a difference between a historical documentary and a reality docuseries. Quote, the piece of my life I haven't been able to share that people haven't been able to see is our love story. She says, then quotes, what she says was the end of a speech she gave at her wedding, in which she took comfort in the quote, resounding knowing that above all, love wins. She adds, quote, I hope that is the sentiment that people feel when they see any of the content or the projects that we're working on. Personally, especially with archetypes, I definitely get that vibe. I definitely get that she puts a lot of care and intention into it. And when she refers to Harry, she always refers to him with like a glowing vibe. There's always this love that encapsulates everything she says when she's referring to him or the family that they've built. I think everything they do is with love, purity, and intention. So I think she hit the nail on the head with that one. Next excerpt. These days, they are getting back out there together. Recently, Meghan says they took Archie to a birthday party for a classmate. Everyone was surprised they showed up. I was in a bouncy castle and I saw this 1-year-old inside. I was like, where's your mom? And this mom on the outside goes, oh, hi, I'm here. I wasn't sure if I should come in. She laughs. Meghan said, I was like, do you need your child? Of course you can come in. Okay, let me just be honest. In defense of that mom, I know that they step back from duties, but I would also still be like, what's a protocol? I don't want any men in suits coming and like tackling the heck out of me. I thought that was a very relatable story. And I thought that was funny that Megan's response was, well, do you need your child? Of course you can come in. Like mother to mother, come get your baby. I love that one. Harry plays polo with the Los Padres in Santa Barbara. They spend time with a close knit group of friends who have lunch and dinner at one another's homes, including former makeup artist and entrepreneur Victoria Jackson, who has become a close friend and, quote, safe harbor. I really thought this was cute, and I thought this was really sweet to just kind of recognize that they are building community one step at a time. And Megan even mentioned earlier in the interview that she doesn't have any friends in Montecito. Well, she didn't when they first moved there. And so it's great that they're building up community, especially amongst their neighbors. They're very famous neighbors. Next excerpt. They also thought it best to leave the UK and the UK press to do it. They were willing to go to basically any Commonwealth, Canada, New Zealand, South Africa, anywhere, anything to just by existing, we were upsetting the dynamic of the hierarchy. So we go, okay, fine, let's get out of here. Happy to, she says, putting her hands up in a mock defeat. Megan asserts that what they were asking for wasn't reinventing the wheel and lists a handful of princes and princesses and dukes who have the very arrangement that they wanted. That, for whatever reason, is not something that they were allowed to do, even though several other members of the family do that exact thing. I use this excerpt because it backs up a couple of the videos that I've posted in defense of Meghan and Harry, basically stating they never asked for this random arrangement. They literally took like a pre-existing format and just applied it to themselves, and they were told no. And this is what they got. The royal family called their bluff and were stunned that they said, okay, deuces. So I just wanted to share that. At a stoplight, Megan reached into the trunk and produced a brand new black backpack and hands it to her security detail to give to an unhoused man on the corner. They are teaching Archie that some people live in big houses, some in small, and that some are in between homes. They made kits to pass out with water and peanut butter crackers and granola bars. I ate one, Archie contributes. First of all, super cute. And listen to the values that they are instilling in these children. You see how Megan has decided motherhood, family, those things come first. And by doing the hard work over the last 3 years and just by facing up to some of the most insurmountable obstacles that I could have ever imagined for anybody, she has come full circle, and it wasn't all for nothing. It wasn't in vain. Listen to the values that she's instilling in her son and her children. Listen to the experiences she's giving her children, the privacy to live a fun, happy, and enriching life that isn't dictated for him step by step or oppressive to him. She did the work. That is a mother. And I love the fact that they are teaching him values such as this. Unhoused people deserve consideration and love and attention, and they need to feel valued. Sometimes people pretend unhoused folks on the street don't exist. When you have the impulse to help someone, take it. Take it. All right, next excerpt. Earlier in our conversation about her goals for the life that she's creating here, she'd remarked upon how if Archie were in school in the UK, she'd never be able to do school pickup and drop off without it being a royal photo call with a press pin of 40 people snapping pictures. Quote, sorry, I have a problem with that. That doesn't make me obsessed with privacy. That makes me a strong and good parent protecting my child, Meghan says. For now, even though two Montecito moms waiting in front of the school stop mid-chat to do a double take, Archie is just the cheerful kid who brings a week's worth of freshly picked fruit for his fellow classmates and enjoys playing a roaring game at recess. Again, I'm going to come back to it. Meghan is a mother. She's protecting her babies. That is what you do. It wasn't all for nothing. All right. So the next one is, quote, I think forgiveness is really important. It takes a lot of energy to not forgive, she says, wisely. But it takes a lot of effort to forgive. I've really made an active effort, especially knowing that I can say anything, she says, her voice full of meaning. And then she is silent. She breathes in and smiles and breathes out and says, I have a lot to say until I don't. Do you like that? Sometimes, as they say, the silent part is still part of the song. Okay. When people were saying that this part of the interview was a veiled threat, I said, y'all have never heard a threat. That was her showing a lot of consideration, a lot of unnecessary consideration, a lot of consideration that you fuckers should be appreciative of. Because if for 1 second she decided to just say, you know what, fuck this, I'm burning it all down, they would have a conniption. The fact that she says, I have a lot to say until I don't. And the fact that she says, because I can say anything, and she chose to be silent. That's her making an active choice. And if I were y'all, I would stop poking the bear. Forgiveness frees us from being trapped in a web of negativity. But I want people to remember that just because someone forgave does not mean that that absolves you of accountability. I'll just leave that there. I really enjoyed that interview. I thought it was very insightful. I feel like every time Meghan gives an interview, we don't get more of the same. She shares a different side of her with us. She shows her perspective and she shows her life and she shows different pieces of her that we haven't been exposed to, or things that we have been exposed to, we get a little more depth. And I've really grown to really appreciate her interviews and the way she interviews. Between her and Beyonce, they're my two favorite people that when they open up a little bit, we always get something enriching, but they do not oversaturate. I really love that. So, what did you think of the interview? I was very taken aback because I wasn't expecting it. And there were moments where I thought that she was just going to go full throttle and be like, and let me tell you another thing. No, I'm just kidding. No, she's always a super class act. And I really enjoyed this interview. And I felt like I learned a lot while I still am getting to know someone who's in the public eye. I feel like there's a mystery there, but she's still very transparent. And that is a very hard thing to achieve. I feel like Meghan is very aware of her standing, as she stated, of her standing in society, and she takes that seriously. So I just wanted to say I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed the photos. I enjoyed the looks. I wonder who styled this. I need to go look at the credits and see who styled her. She looked amazing. And I loved the photos, and I loved the article itself. I thought it showed a great side to Meghan. It was very unbiased. It was very clear, and it was very descriptive. The author of the article, the writer of the article, did an amazing job of setting the scene everywhere she took us. On the car ride to the school, the story about the party, the home, the trees. I felt like we were there. That was a mark of a true writer and a true journalist. So anyway, that's all I've got to say. If you have not already, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I drop some new heat for the streets. I hope you enjoyed this article. What was your favorite part? There was so much more to this article that I did not share because I do not want to ruin the fun for you to go experience it firsthand for yourself. It's in the description box below, so feel free to click the link, and I'm going to tag it here. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. Bye. Oh, side note, I'm on TikTok. Find me on TikTok at SharionSade. I just post a couple things here and there. I'm still getting to know the platform, but find me on TikTok. All right, y'all.